Hey guys, it's Natalie and Kevin here. We thought that we would do a little talk about marriage. People have always looked at our marriage and commented on it, and we've only been married for 3 years, right from when we started getting married. And I initially was, I was unsure as why people thought that, because I thought that what we had was normal. But I guess the greatest advice I could give is that you make sure, especially a woman, when you get married, that you marry a man with a vision. When I married Kevin, when we were courting, on the first date, this guy shared his vision with me at Gloves Boxing Gym. You know, that was his date, was to come and blare his stuff onto me. And I was overwhelmed at that time. My goal was to get married and live in a nice house and have lots of babies, and so we didn't really connect initially on the first time, and so we didn't actually date for a year after that. And there was a lot of growing. God did a lot of work in us, but when we came back together, we were really strong. And every time we went out on a date, it was just talking about the purpose, talking about the vision, understanding each other. And he was very clear about what he wanted when we got married. There was he needed someone who was willing to take that risk and support him in his business. And so I guess we knew what was expected of each other before we got into the marriage. And I think what happens some days is people get so caught up in I love him and he's providing for me and all that, and that's obviously awesome, that's good. But if your man doesn't carry a vision, as a woman you're going to get bored, because as women, we're naturally drawn to men who are ambitious, and it is actually the man that carries the vision. That's how they're designed. So I strongly suggest that you make sure that before that man needs to have his vision. And a vision is not I want to buy a house here and I want to have this many kids and earn this much money. That's ambition. Vision is beyond Kevin. It's beyond us. It's beyond our kids. It's generation, and it's huge. And honestly, at times it is overwhelming. And I'm glad that he has other people in the gym to share with, because sometimes I'm like, can you just not? But in saying that, if he didn't share his vision, if he didn't have any dreams, I would probably kick him out, because I'd get bored. So it's good. So vision's really good. And then also, I think we're often taught, especially even in the church, sometimes that in a marriage, that the husband is the leader and the wife is submissive. And I think we're kind of taught that submissive, the wife just goes, along with the husband's plans. But that's not true. God designed Adam and Eve both to rule and reign and have dominion. He didn't say, let the man have dominion and the wife just come along and behind. They're both called to have dominion. So we're in the position where we've actually got two businesses working alongside each other. And purposefully, we've going to set up a gallery in the boxing gym, which seems weird, but everyone's known we both have business together. We're dual businesses going together. We're both leaders. So the husband and wife are leaders. You rule and reign together. You walk beside each other, support each other, and grow. So I think that's the main thing, is that I think as women sometimes, and honestly sometimes it's cool just to kick back and be like, husband will sort it out. But then it's kind of like,
you just got. I think you made a good point about ladies are taught to be submissive and just go along with the husband. And what people don't understand is, remember, we're all called before the fall of man. If you want to get scriptural and get all religious, or God said, one must be submissive under the husband. Well, that was part of the curse. Since Jesus died, and you all know Jesus died, we're not under a curse anymore. So you've got to remember that. So we're brought back to the original mandate of, the role of a husband and a wife working together. Okay, so don't get that messed up. And that's probably why maybe your marriage isn't quite working, because you're maybe stuck in that mentality that, that the woman must be right under the man. But we don't want to get too much into that, but that's something on the next video we can do. I think for me, I agree with everything my wife has said. For me, you've got to know your purpose. You've got to know the purpose of a marriage. There's too many people getting together and using love as the foundation of their marriage. I used to believe that. I used to believe, love that can conquer all and stuff like that. But I found that that's not God's original intent, and that's not what God had originally designed us for. And having love is good. That's a component, but it's not everything. And this may have shocked you that I'm saying something like this, but people need to understand when you get together, it's for a purpose. And you need to understand the original intent of a marriage, and you need to understand that you were called to a marriage. You were called to rule, to have rulership, to have dominion, to work together, and that's what it's all about. And look at back in the Word that Adam was created first, and the first thing that God gave him was work.
Not a woman.
No, not a woman. It was
Sorry,
work.
ladies.
So, guys, you have to make sure you know what your work is. You know what your life's assignment is. And that way, when the woman comes along, she's already equipped.
She needs something to do.
She
We've
needs
all
something
grown
to.
ups.
Yeah, she comes fully equipped, and you need to give her something to do. And so, when you look at it that way, it explains so much of why we're actually here on earth. It explains so much about what we're called to do. So, you need to find what your work is. If you're already married, that's cool. If you're watching this will help you. Find your purpose, find your work, find what God has given you to do. And that way, you can lead your family in a better, more clearer direction, because you're giving them something to do. You're giving something to work towards.
It's true. And wives also, if your husband doesn't necessarily know what his vision is as well, don't get on him, because that will probably make it worse for him. You just need to support him, encourage him. If he says some crazy ideas, don't. Your words are the strongest, and at times, honestly, I've cut this guy down not knowing. But yeah, if your man's seeking his vision, it takes time, especially if they haven't had it and you're in a couple. So I guess as wives, you just need to give your husband a bit of space to grow and support him, and just, if he has an idea, find out how you can help him with it. Don't don't cut him off at his knees.